So this was a job I actually just got done completing today. A customer had called me just a few days ago wanting to have some plants that were in some pots moved from their porch to their garage because winter was starting and they wanted certain plants to be protected and inside, and she wanted to put them by a window that would allow some sun to get in on the plants. So I scheduled a time to go out and do that job and just got done doing it today. And when I got there, I had brought a landscaping cart and some moving blankets so I'd be able to cushion some of the plants if I needed to in the cart so they wouldn't fall over while I was moving them around. And this was just something that physically she was unable to do herself. Even being able to lift the pots into a cart was not something she was able to physically do anymore. And she also wanted me to move one of the plants to a bigger pot and add some more soil in it. And so I did that as well. And then she had two much larger flower pots on the front porch that she also wanted moved into the garage. And so even though this was a very simple and straightforward job, one thing I did do when I first got there is I had her walk with me around all the plants, and I had brought some painter's tape and I put a piece of tape on every flower pot that she wanted moved. And the reason I did that is just so that I would absolutely know which flower pots needed to be moved into the garage. Because even though this was a simple job, if you're paying for a professional service and you take the time to have the initial conversation to tell them what you want to do, as the customer, you're really not going to be in the mood to come out and tell them again. For example, let's say halfway through, because there's so many different flower pots all around, maybe I forgot which ones actually needed to be moved. And so if I then need to ask again, it just looks unprofessional. It's annoying for the customer, and it's just going to make you look like you weren't the right person to come and do this task. So that's something that I'm always trying to think about when I am first starting out a job, is just to make sure that I can cover any information that I need so that I don't have to bug the customer later unnecessarily. My goal every time is to have an initial conversation with the customer, get everything covered, and then ideally the next time I touch base with them, it's to come show them that everything is done perfectly, exactly the way that they wanted. And those are those little attention to detail type things that after you have left, make the customer think, man, that went perfectly. Like, that was a really great experience. I loved that. And another thing I'll add to that as well is just using the cart, taking my time, going slow, making sure that not one plant ever fell over or had any issue. You know, I charge a professional rate for someone to use my service. And so even though this is a very simple job, if I break one of their plants or damage one of their plants in this process, that is a total incomplete fail. And yet many people that might complete this task might not be placing that level of attention to detail and could go a little bit faster than they should. Maybe they're trying to rush it just to get the job done. And before you know it, some plant now is on the ground. Half the soil's now dumped out in the grass. Part of the plant is broken. And now the customer no longer really sees you as someone that they want to call again in the future, because they were trying to just have you do something super simple and you couldn't even handle that, right? And these kinds of things are so incredibly common in all areas of life, right? Someone that's just not caring about what they're doing. And it's something we all have to deal with in all aspects of life all the time. So if you can be that person that just will care about the service you provide and truly want the customer to have a great experience, you'll be really surprised how much that will do for you and the service that you provide. I show creatives how to get paid to do jobs just like this so they can become their own funding source and have the money and free time they need to pursue their artistic interests. I break it all down at cashcowartist.com. The link is in the description.